against Mickey Gall. We got round 5 coming up. We got the beautiful Pam Anderson. One camera can't see it, but over here you got Dana White getting ready, figuring up how much money he's going to make for this fight in Seattle. Can't wait to get back to Vegas to get on the one-armed bandit. And what you have here is Song and Mickey Gall in the ring refereeing. You got Andrew Glenn. You got Joe Rogan right here. John Anik and DC. DC's already been in there against Song, putting some work in for the man. John Anik was in there, rolling some tires around in there. Joe Rogan was in there, and basically not paying attention to anybody. Any common fan talks about how he meets people and everything. I watch his program all the time. I go into the Apex, and I go into the T-Mobile. I go into a lot of these places, and I see DC, and he's nice, and I see John Anik, and he's nice, and I see Dan Mercado. I haven't introduced him yet, and I see Andrew Glenn, and I see Mickey Gall, and I see Song, and I see Pam Anderson, wherever somewhere else. I see Dana White. I see all these people. You know one person you don't see? One person, all these people here. You know the one person that you don't see anywhere mixing it up with people is that freaking Joe Rogan. The guy can't stop by the common area. And I'm not even talking common area. I'm still talking about stuff that's gated off. He talks about all these people that he talks to, and yeah, you know, common people on the street. You learn a lot from common people on the street. That dude don't meet nobody. He can't even come into the media room and answer a question or anything. Anything. Never see that guy. You see DC, you see John Anik, you see Mickey Gall, you see Big Dan, you see Song, you see Andrew Glenn, you see Dana White. You don't see Pam Anderson. But one person you never see is this Joe Rogan clown right here. Joe Rogan, why don't you go out and meet somebody? Why don't you walk into the media area? I'm sure they're going to want to talk to you. Why can't you go in there, man? Why can't you mix it up? Why don't you come on my show? Oh yeah, you never hear about anybody calling you out because you don't pay attention to anything but yourself. That's what you say. Yet, you know a lot about a lot of people. So, you're only concerned. And you even said it, those people on Fear Factor and everything. You're like, yeah, you know, I deal with these people. The common people. You only rub elbows with who you think is this, that, and everything like that. Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, you could scratch my nuts. Okay? Now I'm getting somewhere. Listen to you people out there in UFC land. You might want to give DC a little bit of a hard time. That dude's a nice dude. Okay? He's telling me a story about how he's never on his back. Yeah, he got put on his back a couple times, but one thing he doesn't lay on his back, he doesn't sleep on his back. I don't know. He won't even lay down and look at the sky on his back. You can't relax on his back. He will not be on his back. Okay? DC is a great dude. This big Dan Mercado guy is a great guy and everything, but don't let him tell you when you ask him to go to a pizza date, and, you know, and he shows up 3-4 hours early, and he goes around telling everybody that, you know, you didn't show up to the pizza date, but yet he was 3-4 hours early. But, I mean, Big Dan Mercado is a great guy. John Anik's a great guy. Mickey Gall's a great guy. Song's a great guy. Andrew Glenn, nice guy. Pamela Anderson, great girl. Dana White, great guy. I don't care what people say, Dana White's a great guy. This Joe Rogan clown here, people forget, man. No, people don't forget. I don't forget Joe Rogan. I'm walking around the Apex. I'm walking around T-Mobile, and I'm talking about the security areas. You stick in that one little tiny area where you're at. And then You guys, these three guys right here, talk and talk and talk as they usher people out of the arena. So these clowns right here basically don't interact, with the crowd because the crowd gets pushed out as they're sitting there around the cage. Yeah, you'll see DC will come and hang out with the people. John Anik will hang out with the people. Dana White will hang out with the people. Dan Mercado will hang out with the people. Andrew Glenn will hang out with the people. Son will hang out with the people. Mickey Gall will hang out with the people. But guess what Joe Rogan will hang out with? Who knows? Not us. Joe Rogan thinks he's above everybody. Mix it up with the common people, Joe Rogan. I started this live post, this live stream, to talk about Dan Mercado, okay? And I'm getting off on Joe Rogan, okay? So I know people, right? Okay, so I know all these guys, right? So let's go over again. I know DC is a great guy. John Anik, great dude. And then, that's Joe Rogan. And then Mickey Gall's a great guy. Song's a great guy. Andrew Glenn's a great guy. Dan Mercada's great. Pam Anderson's great. Dana White's great. Back to this guy, Joe Rogan. I don't know anything about Joe Rogan. You know why I don't know anything about Joe Rogan? Because Joe Rogan doesn't associate, even within the arena at the backstage area, he doesn't associate with anybody. He's too good. Joe Rogan is too high and mighty, even over Dana White. Dana White walks around with a security guard. Okay, the security guard's got like 18 guns on him and a rocket launcher and all kinds of things like that. He doesn't have that around the UFC, but when he goes out and about, like backstage at concerts and stuff like that, I've seen him backstage quite a few times, and he's got this guard with him. It's crazy, but Dana White gets out there and talks to people. This guy, Joe Rogan, doesn't talk to anybody. Hey, why don't you have me on your show, Joe Rogan? And tell me how you are a man of the people. And you talk to people, and you get this and that from people. You don't get shit from people, because you don't talk to nobody. Why don't you go into the media area and sit down and get interviewed one time? I've been going in there for years, it could be decades, and I never see you. Back to what I was doing, I'm trying to get in Dan Mercado, but I can't get off the Joe Rogan character. People make fun of DC, Joe Rogan's it. UFC Seattle, I will put your money on Son and not Cejudo. That's it. There's your prediction from Son and FECK One Foot Cock. UFC Seattle, put your money on Son and not Cejudo. Son and FECK One Foot Cock. You heard me. Son and FECK One Foot Cock. See over here, DC is a decent guy, let me tell you. DC is a great dude. Okay? Dan Mercado is a great guy himself too. But let me tell you something about Dan Mercado. If you ever invite him to go out and to eat pizza, he'll show up 3-4 hours early and then complain that nobody showed up. You know why? Because Dan Mercado is so dizzy walking around in that high elevation that he can't remember times when the time to go get the pizza or not. Then he goes around telling everybody that nobody showed up. But Dan Mercado is a great guy. Andrew Glenn, the referee for the Song Cejudo fight, is a great guy as well. Don't have much to say about Andrew Glenn. Pamela Anderson, one of the greatest ring girls to ever walk around the ring. You know why you don't know that? Because nobody's invited Pamela Anderson to be a ring girl. Hey, Dana White, invite Pamela Anderson to be a ring girl. Hey, knucklehead, he's too busy gambling over there. That's what rich dudes do. Okay? Let's go around gambling. He doesn't know what to do with his money. He goes around losing money all the time. I mean, that's what he does with his money. He has so much money he doesn't know what to do with it, so he thinks he's going to win some money one day, but I doubt it. He's good at getting rid of it, though. Oh, yeah, and then Son's a great guy. Henry Cejudo, I hung around him a few times. Rested my drink on top of his head a few times. Cejudo's a nice guy. Son's a nice guy. So we went around, you just said everybody's nice, right? Yeah. And then we got Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan doesn't step into the common man's walkway, okay? Joe Rogan's treated like a king backstage, okay? You know when he's out there commentating? I mean, it's a normal thing. It's very common, right? But the media goes on for 3-4 hours after the fights are over. These three guys hang out there, and they do their talking and everything while people are getting shuffled out of the building. So they don't even have to talk to anybody because everybody's out of the building by the time they get done. But you'll see DC. DC will come around, you know. You'll see Big Dan Mercado after he gets done climbing the Empire State Building. You'll see him. You'll see Andrew Glenn. The fighters, they kind of get rushed out of the building. It's not their fault. Maybe it's just knucklehead Dana White's fault over here. John Anik, you'll see him. Pamela Anderson, you'll see her. I mean, if you act like you're having a party, she'll show up. I can tell you that. But this knucklehead, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan. You never see this guy. He says he's a man of the people. Yeah, I talk to this guy in the streets. I talk to this guy in the streets. Listen, I hang out with a lot of famous people, man. A lot of famous people. Okay? And some big famous people, too. And they don't do the stuff this guy does. This guy, Joe Rogan, thinks his shit don't stink, okay? He doesn't hang around anybody like us normal people. This has got to be the worst segment I've ever done. Tonight's just not tonight. I'm gonna erase all this. Dan Mercado doesn't step into the ring. Dan Mercado steps onto the ring. You heard it here, son of FECK One Foot Cock. Dan Mercado doesn't step into the cage. Dan Mercado steps onto the cage. You heard it here, son of FECK One Foot Cock.